Hello Pisces, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm super excited to have you here. I thought we would dive into a good old-fashioned you and them reading today. I'm really excited to see the energies. Your energy has been on fire, Pisces. So I just want to check it out, go in depth and look at it, the nuts and the bolts here. But anyway, I like to begin my readings by thanking those of you who have been with me for some time, who like, share, comment, and interact with my videos. I'm really so grateful for each and every single one of you and all of your interactions. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I'd like to take a moment to welcome anyone who is new to the channel. I do hope you find a message that resonates and that brings you some peace and clarity, and that if you do, you'll hit that subscribe button for me. All right, guys, let's dive in. What is the energy of the masculine for Pisces? All right, we're getting wasp spirit for the masculine. Okay. What is the energy for the feminine? For the feminine, please, for Pisces. What is the energy for the feminine for Pisces? The energy of the feminine for Pisces. Please, Spirit. I usually don't have any trouble shuffling these cards, and it's quite challenging today. And we're getting 3 cards for the feminine, and normally I wouldn't take that, but today the energy of these cards is it's just making me feel like I need to. As I try to figure out how to do this. All right, you guys. So the masculine is getting this wasp spirit, and it says, sometimes life stings. You know, we typically look at the masculine as sort of the leader of the connection. You know, we look at them to be the one that's sort of, you know, doing all of the asking out, you know, like, I don't know how I really want to say this. I think you know what I mean, right? It's like, you know, feminine energy is receptive. Masculine energy is action oriented. And what I'm catching from this wasp spirit is sometimes life stings. And if you're the leader, and the key note in your energy is that you have definitely been hurt, or you've definitely had experiences that have caused suffering for you. Your energy, your take action energy might be a little bit like herky-jerky, or a little bit like, I'm getting, you know, before you land an airplane at the airport, you circle the airport a few times, typically, like, I'm not, you know, it's like there's some level of caution, or there's some level of, let me get a lay of the land, or let me understand exactly what I'm moving into, or let me feel very sure or certain before I like come directly at it, or you know, something to that effect. Okay, is what I'm getting. So the masculine might be a bit difficult to read, or might be a little bit start-stoppish, you know what I'm saying, in their energy, or just a little bit maybe even sort of unpredictable, I guess I could say. And what is really behind that, or what I feel like is really fueling that, is this energy that they have been hurt before. And that they know that sometimes things don't work out, you know, and that it has caused their suffering in the past, for sure. Now, it's interesting because with the feminine energy, you have these three animal spirits. You have the fox, think on your feet. You have the spider spirit, make your dreams real. And then you have moth spirit, surrender now. And this energy, it's interesting because the moth and the wasp are actually, like, obviously sort of the same world, right? They're both, you know, insects that fly. And it's interesting because the moth spirit, you know, is attracted to the flame, right? Or to the light or whatever. It's like always moving towards the light. And in the Lovers card, the masculine is actually looking at the feminine, and the feminine is actually looking at the divine. And in that way, the feminine becomes the leader. It's like the masculine is taking action toward the feminine, and the feminine is taking action toward the divine. And therefore, the feminine is sort of by proxy leading the masculine to the light or to the divine. And so I'm catching that drift here. It's like this masculine, I feel like, is super attracted. I'm going to call the feminine the moth spirit because I feel like that's sort of the dominant energy. I do think the other two energies are really important, but this moth energy seems to be the energy that the feminine is using to match with this masculine. And it's kind of like the feminine is sort of like wearing many hats in this situation. The feminine has her eyes set on a prize. Like the feminine has a very definite direction she wants to go. I mean, I definitely think with the spider spirit, she is definitely looking for the 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles type love story here. And with the fox spirit, this actually feels more high priestessy to me than anything. Like, I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to pay attention to what, you know, this masculine is doing, and I will respond accordingly. And with the spider spirit, it's like I understand how all things are connected and how my behavior triggers his behavior and his behavior triggers my behavior. And there is a sense here with the fox spirit and the spider spirit underneath this moth spirit that, like, underneath every action I take, there's an awareness that I want to keep my eye on the greater prize, and that I need to be aware, mindfully aware about how my behavior triggers their behavior and how their behavior triggers my behavior, because it's up to me to sort of get this wasp home, you know, to the light in this relationship. With the antelope spirit being on the bottom of the deck, this is the energy of the connection, and this is speeding up. This is an energy where something, I feel like we're going to get to a certain place here in this connection where things are just going to go really fast. Like, it could be, you know, what do you want to say? I'll call it a courtship, but it's not really a courtship, but it's like that time period where you're sort of talking or getting to know each other or sort of trying to figure out what is going to happen. Feels like long, you know, and maybe it feels long, but it's not long, or maybe it is long, you know, I don't know. But it feels kind of unpredictable, sort of, you know, there's a real dance happening here between the wasp and the moth, and it feels like, you know, very like I'm trying to figure you out, and so I make a move and I see what move you make, and then I make another move and then I see what move you make. And it's kind of like I'm actually learning a lot about you, or learning even a lot about what's possible here, or learning a lot about kind of what we're dealing with, or what the energy signature of our connection is going to be in this process. And by the time we get to a place where we feel comfortable with that, we're comfortable with the whole 9 yards. That's how it feels. All right. So I don't know, you know, it's like a really extended time of unofficially figuring each other out, and then a very accelerated time once it seems like it becomes official, or something like that. Once it has like legs, once it knows who it is, it just takes off, you know, the connection. All right, so let's dive into the masculine's energy here and see what's up. For Pisces, please, Spirit, what is the masculine energy? Okay. So the masculine has these energies: ego, explosive, avoiding, building, and fixing. And these energies, you know, see, I was saying there's like this super herky-jerky energy with this wasp spirit. And with this explosive and with this avoiding, you see how there's smoke involved here, or cloudy energy involved here. Whenever this masculine starts overthinking or sort of gets in their head, or get like, you know, like stops taking things at face value and starts like kind of reading into things. I did not know what happened here, but my candle went crazy. There's wax all over my desk. You know, it feels like when things become unclear, or when the masculine gets the slightest inclination that he's not sure of himself, like either, you know, the feminine does something that the masculine didn't predict or didn't see coming, or it can also be, sometimes I see this when a masculine is sort of used to sort of getting their way, or sort of being, you know, kind of pursued by a feminine, or, you know, like feeling really at ease or comfortable in a situation that like they know that they are kind of all that in a bag of chips, in comparison to, I don't even want to say in comparison to the feminine, but it's like, oh God, I hate this. I hate comparison, but it just feels like when the masculine looks at the feminine and is like, oh yeah, she's totally lucky to have me. Like, you know, I'm such a catch, like da 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 da. Then there's a comfortability level there where the masculine just automatically sort of feels in control. With this feminine, with everything that's going on the surface, it's a very Queen of Wandsy type energy with that moth spirit. But then what is backing it up? It feels like it's something that she doesn't necessarily reveal. It's like he knows it's there, like he knows that there's more than just what he's seeing, but she doesn't like make it really obvious or make it really clear, or it's just this situation where I feel like this feminine is different than other feminines that this masculine has dealt with in a lot of ways. And I feel like when he starts to feel unsure, like at times he feels like he has it all figured out and he's super confident, maybe even a little bit arrogant. And then she'll do something, the feminine will do something that kind of switches it up, or kind of reminds him that there's a lot more to this feminine than meets the eye, or she's a lot different than the people he's dealt with in the past. And it trips him out. And then it sort of sends him reeling. He has like kind of a reaction to it. So I feel this push-pull, or this on-off kind of energy where it's like this masculine is really hot and heavy in a pursuit, and he's really, you know, trying to build something and impress this feminine, and really he's like putting the work in, and he's showing up and he's doing it. And then this feminine will do something, or may not even do something, but this masculine is just reminded that this feminine maybe has free will, choice, or, you know, doesn't always necessarily do what the masculine hopes that the feminine is going to do, possibly. I don't know, but it's something that's like keeping him on his toes and kind of making him feel at times. it's like causing him to have to face his ego, because his ego is where the smoky energy is coming from. You see that? You see the smoke in the card? And so it's kind of like, it's causing him to make adjustments to himself. This card, this energy is called fixing. I don't know if you guys can see. But it's called fixing, and it feels, it's like this interaction is really exposing to the masculine. And I don't know if the masculine is consciously aware of this or not, but it is exposing to the masculine these spaces within them where they have kind of like an opportunity to look at that or evaluate that or kind of discover more about themselves. Relationships teach us about ourselves, right? So this is an opportunity for him to learn about himself through the experience of being in a relationship. And it's kind of like, I think the masculine at times sort of avoids acknowledging certain things about the feminine, or there's a heavy attraction here. I can just tell, I can just feel it. With that moth spirit, when it came out, I was like, damn, this masculine is really attracted to this feminine. There's just a chemistry, and the feminine knows it, and the feminine is also very attracted to the masculine, but like is maybe better able to like mask it or control it, you know? And it's like, it feels almost like with this masculine that and it could be that life stings and he's been taken advantage of in the past and he doesn't want to be taken advantage of again. And he, you know, he can't help what he biologically, chemistry wise feels for this feminine, that, you know, he's just hot for her. But, and I think that's kind of where this energy comes from, where it's like he tries to avoid it, or he tries to not let it show, or he tries to maybe even stop thinking about it or feeling it or whatever. And it just all sort of always blows up in his face. And then he may, you know, back away and sort of not communicate, or, you know, it feels a little triggery, right? And then the feminine is like, oh, okay, you're not going to talk to me? All right, well, everything is connected. So I'm going to show you how that feels. I'm not going to talk to you, or whatever it is. Like, I don't want to say this is like the feminine teaching the masculine a lesson or anything like that. It just feels like there is this push-pull dynamic, and it's kind of like the feminine may be a little bit in this energy of like, I am not overgiving. I'm not going to give you a single thing more than what you're giving me. And so I'm going to just be reflecting your energy back to you. I'll let you take the lead, and then I will follow accordingly, you know, kind of energy. And at times I think it just like almost infuriates this masculine. They're like, I'm not used to this. You know, I'm used to like more acquiescent, compliant people who are trying to please me, not this, you know? So let's look at this feminine's energy. This feminine is a badass. This feminine is, how in the world do I even want to say this? This feminine takes herself seriously. She takes the situation seriously. She is really focused on, it feels like a feminine who's built herself back up from near ruin, or, you know, I don't want to say near ruin, but like some devastating times for sure. And she, like with this adjusting card here, and you have this fixing card, there's mirrored energy here, but it's from a different spot, you know, it's about a different energy. This feminine, it's like, I think she may have been an overgiver. I see these big coins around her neck or whatever that is. But, and she's learned how to call her energy home and to keep it home. And, you know, what's his name? Joe Dispenza or whatever. I watched a video of his recently. I don't want to like, try to paraphrase, but he was talking about how space reveals the truth in a relationship, and how, like, you know, when you give space, when you give a relationship a space to breathe, when you create space in a relationship, when you don't just respond right away, or when you don't just, gosh, I can't really remember it, but it feels so relevant to this reading and what I'm feeling right here. It's like either the other person is going to fill in that gap and reach out and confirm that this is a valuable relationship to them, and that they're trying to honor it by filling in that space, right, for making up the difference, or they're not, and then that is revealing to you that maybe they don't value the connection as much as you'd hoped, or it's revealing the truth to you one way or another. And I don't know how true that is, and I'm sort of cautionary about things like that, because I think it in some hands it turns into a game, and it turns into this real push-pull kind of energy that I feel here with this reading. But the push-pull I feel in this reading is more natural. It's more like, you know, I feel a real deep level of frustration on the masculine's part, but it's a frustration that is, I think, healthy and good. You know, it's something where it's exposing something for this masculine that this masculine may have been avoiding looking at, or may it's like something the masculine has to go through in order to get to where he wants to be. And it may be a little bit of a hot-headedness, it may be a little bit of an ego struggle, but it's like this masculine, I feel like, does definitely want love, right? That's why sometimes life stings, because they have been in the pursuit of the sweetness of love and have been stung, have been hurt. And I feel like it's kind of like this, for this masculine, there's this energy of like, I want it, but I kind of want it the way that I am right now, or I want it to just, you know, like work out from this space. You know, I don't want to really change, or I don't maybe even think I need to change. And so you come to these crossroads in life where it's kind of like, do you really want this? Because if you really want this, then you have to face this. And if you face this, you can free yourself from it and let it go, and then you're free to move forward into what it is you really want. But it's like you gotta be willing to face this. And so I think this masculine has kind of avoided facing this in the past, and I feel like the past relationships for this masculine feel pretty karmic. You know, they feel pretty much like they were lessons to be learned, or there may have even been other opportunities to learn this exact lesson. But this feels like a kind of a deep soul connection, and like there is this really intense attraction here for a reason. Like it is way more than skin deep, the attraction that these two people feel for each other. And so I feel like sometimes that happens because that masculine needs the incentive of how attracted they are to the feminine in order to face this thing. And I think vice versa, you know, also true for the feminine towards the masculine. So, but I feel like this feminine has been on sort of this journey of self-love and a journey of surrendering, you know, giving up control and just saying, you know what, universe, I trust that if, you know, this is something that is meant to be for me, that if, you know, I am meant to have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, that in divine timing, you will bring that person to me. And, you know, the feminine is still really trying to, I feel like she's working on, or still mindfully sort of adjusting, or even just being mindfully aware to make sure that she stays in the right energy. It's like that she doesn't overgive, or that she doesn't have a tendency to fall back into past cycles. Let's get a look at the connection. You're getting, wow. Okay. You're getting, get out of your head. Oh my God, yeah, there's, oh my God. Okay, all right, okay. You are getting, get out of your head and get into your heart. This is the truth, okay, with the thought patterns. So both of these people may have a tendency to kind of get in their head about a relationship or about relationships. I think this feminine is really trying to practice self-love and surrender, which is just that, like, I know that I'm worthy of this, and that, you know, if this is my person, then it will be, and I don't need to control it. I can surrender it to the universe. But I do feel like this feminine is really craving a deeper level of intimacy from this masculine, maybe than she's getting or than she has gotten in the past from other people. There certainly is a very, very, very strong sexual chemistry here. I felt it instantly when I saw that moth. And you're getting sacred sexuality. This connection has the potential for sacred tantric alchemy. This is on purpose. Like, I can literally feel that this is part of, like, the attraction that actually busts both of these people through to the other side of whatever it is that they have to face. You have this stalemate, a stalemate situation. Someone needs to take decisive action, and then you have completion. This is really giving me, you also have separation on the bottom of the deck, but I don't feel this is actual separation, like a separation. I actually feel like this is just space or distance that is temporary. And it may be how the stalemate is broken, where it's like, okay, this doesn't seem to be growing. This doesn't seem to be moving past this place. And I think it's kind of the feminine that's like, I want more. So the feminine, you know, typically does not take action. So the feminine speaks through silence and inaction, right? Through, I'm not receiving what I need, so I clam up, or, you know, I don't even want to say clam up, because that feels like shutting down or like cutting themselves off. And that's not what I'm getting. It's just, I will mirror your behavior, you know? And so if you're not taking action to grow this connection, then I'm not taking action to grow this connection. And in that way, it's like somehow that gives the feminine a sort of a leadership position. And it is very much like the Lovers card, where the masculine is looking at the feminine, and the feminine is looking at the divine. You know, the feminine, it is a sacred thing to take your power back and to kind of not, you know, keep giving to situations that aren't, where there isn't a payback, where there isn't a payoff, you know? I mean, I don't want to say that, like, if you give something, you should receive something, or like da-da-da-da-da, like that. No, but you, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, you know, if it stops moving in the direction that, you know, you need it to move in, you don't say, okay, here, you know what, I'll just take over and I'll just move it in that direction. You say, okay, there's clearly an issue here. Let me pause. Let me figure it out. Let me fix it. You know, it's like if your car stops working, you know, or like starts putting out like a smell or a sound or something like that, you take it to the shop. You don't just keep driving on it and ignore it. You know what I mean? Or I don't know, like, do you feel what I'm saying? I hope so. I don't want to go too into it because I feel like you can get really off track like that. But I feel like the feminine, you know, you have this searching energy on the bottom of the deck. So it feels to me like, you know, she's sort of remaining open to the idea that, okay, if it's like, maybe I want it to be this wasp spirit, But if it isn't, then okay. Like, I'm not controlling something. I'm not saying it has to be this person, it has to be this way. I'm leaving it open to the universe. And I am trying to apply the spiritual lessons that I have learned and, really stay focused in this energy of loving myself and making choices that feel like self-love, and that, signal to the universe, yes, you know what, no matter what happens, no matter what, goes down, my first commitment is to myself and self-love. All right. It may have even been a while for this feminine, like, to even find someone that she, wanted to have this level of intimacy with, or was like open to having this level of intimacy with. And I think it's hard for this feminine to really actually contemplate losing this masculine. But at the same time, I feel that this feminine would rather lose this masculine than lose herself, is kind of the vibe. All right, so let's get a deeper look at this masculine. Of course, I shuffle in who's on the bottom of the deck. The Emperor, Divine Masculine himself. All right, so what is in the masculine's headspace in regards to the feminine? What is in the... Okay. So this masculine has clearly been hurt before, and he clearly is like, I think he's kind of focused on taking his energy back and, asking himself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? There could be a bit of a self-centeredness around this masculine. I don't know if that's like a permanent condition, or if that's just a condition of, I was trying so hard to give a feminine, everything that I could give, and I ended up really losing myself in the process, and it's taken me a long time to get back into my own energy with these two nines. The masculine, it does have these two nines and the Seven of Wands sideways, which the two nines are indications of single energy, and then that Seven of Wands sideways is, that's a defensive energy where, someone is sort of like, they may be letting down their guard or letting down their defenses, but I think this is a masculine that when they met this feminine was sort of in this energy of like, oh no, I'm single and I'm going to stay single. Like this is a hard fought victory for me, and I'm finally feeling happy on my own, and I'm not really wanting to give that up. However, the masculine has done a lot of thinking about what they're looking for in a person. And I think they're frustrated because I think they're finding it in this feminine. And I think it kind of goes against what they sort of, the contract they kind of made with themselves was, and it feels like this masculine really has a good time with this feminine, and kind of feels like this feminine is a friend, like, you know what I mean? Or like someone that they really feel excited to be around and feel excited and happy to like spend time with. And they feel like, I feel like life is just sweeter with this feminine. So they are sort of letting down their defenses a bit. They are sort of, it feels like being less like, I have to stay single, you know what I mean? Kind of energy. They're starting to open up to an idea of really like something beyond this with the feminine. What is in the heart space of this masculine? Oh my gosh. Wow, it's interesting because this masculine, like big time really likes this feminine. This masculine, there's a part of this masculine that knows, in their heart of hearts, they know this is their person. They know that like fate has brought this person into their life for a reason with the Wheel of Fortune, and that, maybe in their head, it's not the right time, or maybe in their head, they saw things going very differently, but in their heart, it's like you can recognize fate when it's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And with the Page of Cups being in the heart space, it's like this masculine authentically feels something for this feminine, and it may even be a new feeling to this masculine, something that they haven't ever really felt. And that is like a genuine, like, I even feel like a desire to really commit to the feminine, you know, with the Hierophant here. Or this can also be like they're feeling a very deep level spiritual connection here, and maybe the love is beginning to develop, or the feelings are beginning to develop that are matching the depth of the spiritual nature of this connection. But with the Page of Wands in the heart space, this masculine is hot to trot for the feminine, and is, you know, in their heart, they've already decided, like, if I'm picking someone, I'm picking this feminine. Like, this is the one. Something is changing in this masculine's heart space. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what actions will this masculine take? You're getting the World card, which came out pretty much in reverse. The Knight of Swords and the Three of Cups and the Two of Wands with the King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And this energy is like, okay, you know, when I was talking about Joe Dispenza and like space and relationships, space gives you time to reconnect with your personal power. And, you know, we all sort of give our power away little by little without kind of realizing it, especially to relationships and to people that we're in intimate spaces with. And with the Two of Wands, I see that there is space around this masculine for this masculine to make a decision or to decide. So this masculine may have taken space, or may just be a little bit more distant, but they're sort of trying this on. They're sort of like, okay, well, what does it look like if I have this feminine in my future? And what does it look like if I don't have this feminine in my future? And you see this Two of Wands to the Three of Cups, and this Three of Cups is like, I was feeling, it's like they have such a good time with this feminine. It's like that feeling of when time just goes flying by. It's like you don't even know where it went, and all of a sudden like 8 hours has passed by, and it's like you don't want it to end. You're not ready to let go. You're not ready to say goodnight. Oh my gosh, that song is like Kelly Clarkson. I just heard it. When goodbye feels like this, don't you want to stay here a little while? I'm sorry, I cannot sing, so I hope you know what I'm talking about. Pisces are amazing little human jukeboxes, getting the songs that I come up with like 2 words. So hopefully you know that song. But this, it's almost like it actually makes this masculine want to come rushing in. But you can see mentally this masculine is not completely in alignment, you see. Because in the heart space, the heart is aligned with the actions, but the mind is not. And we see that in these cards too, that mental fog, and it's coming from the space of ego. I think the masculine has gotten hurt, or the masculine has felt really taken advantage of, or something like that. And it's like they told themselves they weren't going to do it again. They told themselves they weren't going to let their heart get them in way over their head again, and here they are, and it feels like it's happening again. And you know, they're really like, you know, trying to maintain this sense of head over heart kind of energy, and just sort of hold on to being single. But the thing is, when they look at their future, and when they have space, I think that all they can think about is the feminine with this Three of Cups, Two of Wands combo. It's like, you know, And that's what happens when you give space to a relationship. It has the opportunity to find its natural flow state. It has its opportunity to sort of breathe, and when it breathes, it's like absence makes the heart grow fonder. I mean, it doesn't always happen. If it's not your person, or if this person didn't have really good intentions, or if this person, you know, didn't know what they want or weren't ready, then it wouldn't work, right? And it's not like a plan or a ploy or a game or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that at all, but it is something that I have felt from the beginning of this relationship. It's like when you give this masculine a moment to be by themselves and to sort of feel the absence, or just even give their mind a moment to just process, this masculine comes to this conclusion, I feel like every time, because it's in their heart, that like, I really like this feminine. I really have a good time with this feminine. I feel like life is a celebration. I feel like time goes by super fast. I'm happy. It's a celebration. Whenever I see this person, it's a celebration. It uplifts me. And I feel like this masculine is like looking toward their future, and they're going, do I really want to be by myself, or do I want to be with somebody like this feminine who I'm like super physically attracted to, and who makes me feel like I'm walking on sunshine? You know, it's like, no, I want to be with the feminine. And that always makes this masculine come rushing in with communication. Like if this is your story, you know, and you're texting, and then one day the masculine doesn't text, or text one word answers, or you know, like there's some kind of energetic shift that you feel, it's immediately followed by this masculine coming rushing in, and even possibly articulating more, like, I missed you, or like, I'm so happy to see you, or like just anything that indicates some level of care, concern, feeling kind of energy. This is a cycle that's not sustainable, however, and so a firm decision is going to have to be made, and I feel like it will be made, and the cycle will close out when the masculine gets in complete alignment, when they master their thoughts. And I do feel like there will be a very strong conversation led by the masculine when that happens. Yeah, see, their thoughts are really owning them. Their thoughts, the thinking is the problem. Yeah, yeah, but you know what? I do see them solving it. I see them actually choosing to put work in to solve it. Yeah, and then they'll step into their power and come forward. All right, let me look at this feminine energy. What is in the feminine's headspace for the masculine, please? Sorry. Oh my God. Okay. You have this feminine is kind of funny. So you have the Three of Swords with the Hangman with the Nine of Wands. So this feminine, you see how the feminine is dragging this guy around by his hair, you know, it's like she doesn't want to have this feeling. Like she doesn't want to feel like she's forcing anything, or like she's making anything happen, or that like, you know, she doesn't want to feel, she wants to feel like the masculine is showing up for her and wants her and wants to commit to her and wants the same thing that she wants, without her having to say, you know, please pick me, or what, you know, like whatever, like not pick me, because she's not a pick me, but you know, like without having to lead the horse to water and showing him how to drink. She wants this masculine, because I think she's done that in the past. I think she's like pulled some punches, or, you know, maybe she's a super attractive feminine and can kind of use that to like kind of get the result that she wants. But I think it's a super short-term result that ends in her suffering, like having a greater amount of suffering. With the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords in her mental body, she is looking at all the times that it hasn't worked out, and that maybe, you know, she feels like she, at the very least, really encouraged a certain path or direction for a masculine, that, and the masculine may not have been ready, and it ended up causing her suffering, or may not have been the right masculine, or may not have been the right time, or whatever. And she's seeing how when she takes it all in her hands, or when she tries to control it, or when she tries to be the leader or whatever in the relationship, it has actually led to her suffering. And she doesn't want to be further burdened by doing that again. Like, she knows that doesn't work. She has looked at her past situations, and she has perspective on them. She's come to a place of peace and acceptance with them all, I feel like. But she's also, like, definitely learned her lessons, definitely wiser for it, definitely found the gift in those situations, and she's definitely not looking to repeat it. Then you have the Fool card on the bottom of the deck. I think, you know, she is looking for something where there's not a ton of baggage, where there's not a big project. You know, it is hard enough to get in vibrational harmony with another person, and to even find someone who is capable of more than like infatuation or crushing, or, you know, whatever, and like really wants to roll up their sleeves and do the work to have a solid and stable relationship. And so I feel like she's kind of like, I'm open to that. I'm open if this masculine wants to take the lead and wants to take it there. I'm open. I will take the leap of faith. I am at a place of peace with my past. I'm not carrying past baggage. I am free and able to take this leap of faith. And so I will, if this masculine leads it in that direction, but I'm not forcing it. I'm not forcing him to do it. I'm not giving him an ultimatum. I've learned a lot from these past experiences, and I am not going to repeat it. That is the one thing that I am not going to do. I'm not going to repeat the past. How interesting. In the feminine's heart space, wow, you have the King of Pentacles with the Star card energy, with the King of Swords, the Magician, the Nine of Cups, and the Page of Cups, with 7 swords on the bottom of the deck. Underneath that, 5 of Pentacles, and then 9 of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So in this feminine's heart space, it's like she really knows in her heart of hearts what it's going to take to have the kind of love that she's looking for. She knows that it's going to take somebody who's mature, who's solid and stable, and who really knows who they are and is really confident and secure. And so that is her wish fulfillment. That is what she's really looking for. And I feel like she feels solid in looking for that in a partner, because I feel like she feels solid about the job she has done doing it, making herself that energy, right? With the King of Swords and the Magician, with the 9 of Cups, this is... what this is giving me is like, I don't want to fool myself. Like, I don't want to convince myself in my heart of hearts that this is my wish fulfillment and kind of be duped. End up with someone who's emotionally unavailable, someone who is a lot of smoke and mirrors, like someone who seems like they can step up but then never does because they're so emotionally unavailable. It's like, you know, there's just this energy with the 7 of Swords being on the bottom of the deck where there is this misalignment, and it's like the feminine knows that this has been a bit of an Achilles heel for her before. It's like, you know, I have all these feelings, I want a place to put it. You know, authentically, I'm a lover. Authentically, I love love, and I love to give love, and I love to be love, and I I want to be in love, you know what I mean? And so sometimes I will kind of convince myself that someone is kind of worthy of receiving this, and then sort of find out that they're emotionally unavailable and that they aren't really, that my heart was sort of playing tricks on me, because my heart wants to love so much. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's kind of this element of, I'm aware that I have this kind of Achilles heel in my heart space, where my desire to love and be loved, like that is authentically who I am at the core of my being. I'm a lover with the Page of Cups in the heart space. It can make me do things that are not in alignment with what I really want. And so with the Star card covering the King of Pentacles, it's like that I have healed, and my healed self knows that I am looking for this, and that this is what I truly deserve, because this is what I truly have to offer. And this is, it feels like self-love and self-awareness happening in the heart space. So this is like a pretty developed feminine, you know, someone who knows herself well. What actions is the feminine going to take? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So you have, the Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. You have the Moon, you have Judgment, you have the Emperor, and you have the Six of Cups. This feminine, with the Moon card energy here, it sort of feels a bit like it supersedes everything else. It is a card of Pisces after all. And this Moon card is sort of saying to me that I feel like the feminine is keeping her energy pretty close to her vest. It's like she is waiting to see what actions this masculine takes, and then she's going to respond accordingly. I feel like with this Moon card, it's like, it's almost like I don't want to influence this person. I know I need them to step into their divinity, or I need to know, you know, are you capable of creating a strong foundation in a relationship? Are you capable of really showing up in your highest and best? I will give you the space. I will give you the freedom. I will let you call all the shots. I will let you be in charge, right? And I'm not going to reveal what I want. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to make it happen. I'm going to see what you're about. And I hope that what you're about elevates both of us and this relationship. The feminine has the masculine on her mind a lot. You know, I think she feels very nostalgic. I think she feels like that sort of dreamy, kind of puppy love sort of feeling for this masculine. It's just sort of like, you know, I think she has a tendency to focus on his good qualities, possibly. There again, I feel a level of attraction here of just like, but nobody else will look like this person, or nobody else will, you know, hug like this person, or smell like this person, or make jokes like this person, or whatever. There's that kind of energy where the feminine has really sort of fallen, but not, you know, head over heels. It's just sort of like, but I, you know, I don't know. It's like puppy love. And if you haven't, I just got this message so strongly. If you haven't met this person, this is like a feminine who is really spending time getting in touch with what they're looking for, and really asking for it from the angels. Like really, you know, talking to her spirit guides, angels and saints, like, hey, this is what it is that I really, really am looking for in a person. Can you please bring this to me? And I do feel with Judgment, I feel like, yeah, they call is being heard and answered. You have this Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and this is just the feminine's true desire of, I just want someone I can share a vision with, I can share a plan with, and that is going to actually show up and collaborate, and that I can build something strong and stable that's going to last. That is what I want. I want that with a person. And I feel like, does she hope it's this masculine? Yeah. Does she feel nostalgic? Does she feel like, oh, all warm and fuzzy sometimes when she thinks about the masculine? 100%. But I do feel this willingness that, like, I'm not forcing it. If it isn't this person, it isn't this person. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But I'll keep looking. I'm not going to give up. And there is this sense of, I really would rather, kind of be by myself than be, trying to make something work that isn't really meant to work. I do just want to ask, what is the best potential outcome for this duo at this time? I do also feel with the moon and the emperor that this feminine is like, I will give you the space. The moon is a super feminine energy, right? It is divine feminine energy. It's like, I'll give you the space for you to step into your divinity, for you to find yourself, for you to step into your power so that you can lead this, in a really positive, stable, solid direction. All right, so what is the best possible outcome? Man, I do feel there's a strong conversation coming. Oh, hilarious. There's good times ahead. We have a Knight of Wands in reverse. We have, the King of Pentacles upright. Wow, with the Queen of Swords upright. The feminine is matching the masculine's energy. There's just no doubt in my mind. She's like, okay, you want to talk? We'll talk. I'm going to match your energy. I mean, literally, I just keep getting that. With the King of Pentacles here, I do feel like the masculine is really, they are letting go, I think, of this idea of being single, or this commitment even that they've made to themselves about being single. I definitely feel they're letting go of this. And I think it's because they genuinely feel so light and carefree and fun and spontaneous and happy in the presence of the feminine. And it's like, why am I fighting that? Why am I going against that? Why wouldn't I want that? But there's definitely a conversation that needs to happen here between these two people with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. I'm just actually going to clarify the conversation. All right, so the masculine is definitely in their head. I feel like they know that they need to have this conversation, but I feel they are, they want to be very strategic. Wow, there it is, the conversation. They want to be very strategic. I feel like they actually, it's kind of like this energy of like, as long as we keep talking, as long as we keep communicating, it's like Rome wasn't built in a day. It doesn't have to be one conversation that takes us all the way home. It's that, honestly, if we're looking towards the long term, the idea of communication as a whole is just so important. And so I want to get this set off onto the right foot. And I feel like with this masculine, there is this resistance. There is a bit of guardedness. And with the Five of Swords, this can be, kind of leftover energy from whatever that is that made that masculine learn that life stings sometimes, it's sort of that energy of kind of, getting in one's head and kind of getting stuck there, like letting our thoughts kind of defeat us a little bit. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it can be where the masculine is like, sort of spending too much time thinking about the conversation instead of having the conversation, and that sort of could cause a problem here. But I see the masculine fighting through it to have victory. I do think that the masculine is going to reveal some kind of very serious intentions here with the Six of Wands, like that they really do want to have success and victory, and they are showing up in this energy of the King of Pentacles. You now have that coming out twice. So they're showing up in an energy that's ready to commit, that's ready to really put their money where their mouth is, you know? And they are, you know, I think with the Seven of Wands coming out here, there's an energy of like, they're willing to fight every obstacle. Some of those obstacles are coming from inside and some of those obstacles may be coming from outside, but they're pretty determined to have victory here. And the Six of Wands is a card that historically talks about engagement. It also talks about success after a long battle. And it feels like, you know, with that Seven of Wands there is this long battle kind of happening within the masculine. I also, like I said in the beginning, get this feeling of navigating this space of getting to the place where we have this conversation, where we have this level of commitment. It takes a while and is a little bit tumultuous. But once we get there, it all happens very fast after that. And we see that here even in this best possible outcome. I mean, this is just the exact energy that I felt in the beginning. It's like the Lovers and the King of Cups. Okay, now that we've made the choice, we get to the business of, you know, mastering these emotions and making this happen and enjoying the sweetness of life. So this is what I have. Let me get you guys some message cards. If you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting, your voice transports me back home to our love every time. I never forgot you. I wanted you to think I did. Our love affair possesses my soul. If you are dealing with a fire sign, you are getting seduction and fantasies of our nights together. The strength of our love creates a powerful energy between us. Memories of you sneak up on me. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you are getting loving you is easy, but it's the heartache of your absence that pains me. My love only belongs to you, and even when our love is broken, it keeps us together. If you're dealing with an air sign, sorry, I had to sneeze so bad. If you're dealing with an air sign, autumn, the season of our love changing for another year. Okay, what if you come back and I've moved on, she asked. If it's meant to be, that won't happen, he replied. And then quiet desperation in keeping my feelings contained. Pisces, this is what I have for this you and them. You know, I feel like all is well that ends well here, but yeah, I feel like it's a little tumultuous until it's not anymore. And then when it's not, it's probably not very often again, ever again. I can definitely see this working out for these two. All right, I hope this helps. I hope it brought you peace and clarity. If it did, please subscribe, comment, like, share, whatever. I appreciate it all. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.